It's time to put your health in your own hands. Get ready to learn from today's top health and wellness innovators and thought leaders on Optimal Health Radio. Now, here's your host.
Hi, this is Tammy Patzer, and I'm really excited to introduce today's guest, SHIRLEY HOLMLUND. SHIRLEY is a gifted and spiritual healer validated through science who harnesses life force energy from nature and transmits it to people to enhance their health and well-being, as well as to non-living materials such as nutraceuticals for improved performance. SHIRLEY is a former teacher and media specialist, and she credits her divine gifts and personal transformation into a holistic healer with her association with Guruji Mahendra Trivedi, founder of Trivedi Global Incorporated and the Trivedi Effect, whom she first discovered in 2011. SHIRLEY's energy healing abilities have been validated in preclinical scientific research using both cell-based and mouse models to suggest better bone health, increased overall health, and enhanced quality of life. Welcome, SHIRLEY.
Good afternoon, Tammy. Thank you very much for that introduction, and I'm delighted to be here.
I'm really interested in learning more about your adventures with the Trivedi Effect and your background. I understand that you have some information to share with our audience today about sleep disorders and your personal journey, as well as how the Trivedi Effect can help with things such as sleep disorders. So can you give me an overview of the problem related to sleep?
Yes, sleep is just a natural part of our physical state, and our mind and body needs it to support our functioning, and it also alters our consciousness.
So what kind of problems do most people have related to sleep? I mean, I know, for example, every now and then, even though I'm very tired, maybe I'll fall asleep and then I wake up maybe a couple hours later, or sometimes I just toss and turn. I have that, the mind chatter going on, and it's like I just can't turn it off. How prevalent is that with the people in the world today?
Well, they say that in North America, this is a United States statistic, it says that between 50 and 90 million people have some difficulty have some type of sleep disorder, which is quite significant. Sometimes it is just for a short period of time, and sometimes it's very ongoing. It can be very debilitating as well, because it can cause, if it is not addressed and it is not really, and people are not totally aware of the problem, it can cause much more serious diseases like heart disease, diabetes. They talk about other disorders that are affected by our sleep, because what happens when we are sleeping is exactly if we are sleeping in our proper REM sleep. There are two types of sleep. There is the REM sleep, which is the rapid eye movement, which is what happens when we go to sleep. And then there is the non-REM sleep, which is much deeper, and that is when we are also in the dream state. And when we're sleeping, and we're sleeping in a normal pattern, we go through these cycles about 3 to 5 times during a night. But it is always a good idea to try to go to bed within an hour on a regular basis, and to also get up even when you are on work days and on weekends, to keep that circadian rhythm going. Rhythm is when it gets dark, the melatonin kicks in our bodies, and then we get a little more tired, and we feel like it's time to go to bed.
So, with so many, why do people seem to have these, sleep disorders? What are some of the common causes of not being able to sleep?
Okay, there's lots of symptoms like sometimes we just don't get enough sleep, and that can be because of we maybe what we have eaten. Maybe we've had a heavy meal. We've had a lot of we've been stimulated before we go to bed. It's always a good idea to try to relax before you go to sleep for a while. Either listen to some soothing music or to read a book, or just kind of ease yourself into that sleepy state. And when we sleep at the wrong time of the day, then that can affect our sleep at night as well. And other things that can affect us is stimulants like caffeine, tobacco, alcohol can be another factor that can interrupt our sleep patterns.
So I remember my mom always used to tell me a bedtime story, and that always seemed to be the perfect way to go to sleep. Maybe that's what we need more of in our lives today, is somebody to read us a bedtime story. But I do know that watching TV at night is definitely not conducive to sleep because of the light and everything. Because I notice I'll fall asleep watching TV, but of course, the second something changes, like the show changes or something, I wake up because something disturbs me. So have you ever personally had any sleep problems?
Well, I like you. I think I used to use a TV set to go to sleep with. I don't know. There was something about the chatter or whatever, but it will wake you up when there is that change. And I've been told that the computer, the green screen or something on the computer is very not conducive. It's very it kind of energizes us, and that you can put a blue screen, they say, on your computer, which is kind of a night mode or something, or a different mode. I'm trying to get someone to do that for me on my computer, because yes, when we work late into the night, if we watch TV and you're working on your computer for a long time, it is very stimulating. Also, even if you have an alarm clock that's quite bright at night, that can also affect your sleep, because your room should be dark. If you don't like it completely black, it should dark. It can have a very, very tiny light, but not anything that really should affect the room. And of course, if the room is cool and there's if there's fresh air, that you can open a window or something, that is really good as well. It just helps our bodies to relax and to get into a deeper sleep.
So in your experience, I wanted to ask you more about the Trivedi effect and how it helps with sleep. Can you tell me a little bit more about the Trivedi effect, what it is, and how it might help somebody if they're having some sleep disturbances?
Yes. Mr. Trivedi, as you had stated, I had been introduced to him actually in 2011. I opened my computer one morning and there was a webcast where he was being introduced. And having followed energy medicine in my lifetime quite often, never really taking up any modality or anything, but just has been a great interest in my life, even from a young child, and some experiences that I had. And here they were introducing this wonderful man from India who had they introduced the Trivedi effect, which is harnessing the life force or source or the grace of God, or God's grace, divine grace. And he was harnessing this energy and transmitting it, as you said, to organic materials and organic organisms and inorganic materials, and he had all these thousands of experiments that he had done and to prove the efficacy of what he was doing. That just totally blew me away. He had his lovely Indian accent, and I had my ear down to the speaker, listening to every word. So after the program was over, he offered this very simple program, which I actually I enrolled in immediately, and I started to receive these transmissions. I was lucky enough to have him come to Calgary three times in that expanse of time, and then of course I started to go down to Las Vegas as well, and to some of his retreats. But what I noticed very, very shortly afterwards is that my sleep patterns really, really did change. It was so wonderful to go to bed and go to sleep, and you just close your eyes and you're gone. You don't know where you are, so you've slept well. I hardly even wake up in the middle of the night. I just, once in a while, if I do, I'll just go and have a cup of tea and I'll go right back to sleep. I usually wake up early in the morning. Sometimes I'll wake up a little later lately because we seem to be having so many dark days and dark nights here. But I really feel refreshed. I have energy. I feel like getting on with my day. It's just amazing. It is very wonderful for your well-being and what you're wanting to do every day in your life. So that was just huge for me. Because when I was working, I often, some days I wouldn't want to get out of bed. I just would love to sleep longer, and I sometimes had that brain fog. I don't remember having brain fog anymore, and I don't even remember having a very bad night's sleep or anything. It doesn't matter what bothers me during the day. By the time I go to bed, it's gone. I don't have to think about it anymore. I'll worry about it tomorrow, kind of thing. So I've been just absolutely delighted, because I know that if you get proper sleep, the whole world, everything looks more joyful and more cheerful, and you're just a happier person. You can let things that bother you, you can let them go so much easier. You get along in the world a whole lot better when you feel rested.
Yeah, I can understand that, because obviously when you don't get enough sleep, it's like you're just off, whatever that off may be. So can you tell me more about how you work with people? I understand that you, of course, did the science, and that you are now a scientifically validated energy healer, meaning that you're also a conduit for transmitting this energy. Can you talk a little bit more about how you help people and how you work with people?
Yes, I'm in the beginning stages of really working with people, although I have been helping people in the last few years since Gurji, Mr. Trivedi, has trained us and given us this absolute ability to do this gift, and which is just eternal gratitude, because it has to start with you first, and you have to get yourself working, and then you can go and get out and help others. So what I've been doing is I've been blessing a lot of people having some very unusual experiences. I've got a website that got some testimonials on and so on. But my goal is to really help people with this energy. And what Mr. Trivedi has us starting out with is really the neurological disorders. He wants us to really work on sleep disorders, ADD, ADHD, anxiety, and so on. He feels that these are the disorders that he would like us to start to bless people and help them. And what I love about the Trivedi effect is that, our environment is so important for us to lead a healthy life. And we have the people around us and the people we work with and with our families and so on. And what this energy does is it's the Trivedi effect, and it has the ripple effect. And so many people, this is talked about by so many people, and I know it's been talked about by you, Tammy, too. You have your own lovely stories. And I just feel that it spreads. It spreads its wings. It spreads its wings, and it helps you, the environment, and the people around you, as well as, and it can help finances. It can help business. It can help all kinds of different areas. What I love about it is it is a very intelligent energy. It is the life force. It is divine grace, and it goes where there is the need. We don't direct it. We direct it to the person, but the energy goes to the person. The energy, it does what it needs to do.
So can you talk a little bit more about the energy? I know that, we talk about life force energy, we talk about energy, and we talk about that the energy is really the divine connection or to the God of your understanding. And even when you describe it as that, I've had people ask me questions like, so is this a religion? Is this some type of bizarre religious experience? Can you talk a little bit more about exactly what this energy is to your understanding, so that then an average person could get it or understand what we're talking about?
Well, yes. There is absolutely no religious affiliation with the energy itself. It is a universal energy. It is a life force. It is divine grace. It's nature, and it is in everything. It is in everything and in anything. What happens is experiences and so on kind of disconnect us. Our brains sometimes disconnect our thoughts and our brains and our actions and so on, sometimes disconnect us from this energy, so it is not working to its capacity within the body. But this is the energy that should be guiding our lives and leading our lives, and we often let our egos and our delusions and so on kind of get in the way of really being able to harness this force for ourselves and to use it to its highest good. And because it is a source for it is a force that is for the highest good of the individual and in the highest good of all.
So to your understanding, when you mentioned God's grace, for example, yes. That to you, what does that mean exactly? Is that that divine connection to the Creator?
Yes, that's what I was going to say. It's the for me, God's divine grace is really the creator of everything and all things. It surpasses all religious beliefs. It surpasses everything. It's just, the creator of this universe is, and the creator of absolutely every atom and every electron and that is in the universe. And it's very scientific. It's a scientific view, really, of the way the world and the universe works.
So that's one of the reasons why Mr. Trivedi spent so much time doing all of these thousands and thousands of experiments to prove that it's a real phenomenon and that the Trivedi effect is scientifically been validated. And then, of course, you have done the experiments of working with him. And so now you're validated as someone who can help to be a conduit for the life force energy or the energy connection between the creator and the person that you're helping to direct the energy to. And then because it's the creator, it's intelligent, and so it does whatever it needs to do to help that person or thing or pet or animal or child. Is that correct?
That's wonderfully put. Yes, thank you. That's a beautiful explanation.
Because again, and like I'm asking this just because the other day I actually had a conversation with my sister, and I was explaining, that it's the connection to God of your understanding. And then she was asking all kinds of questions like, what God? And I said, the God, the only one, the creator, of your understanding. So it was kind of an interesting conversation because it made me realize that even when you say it's the God of your understanding, some people, they can't even grasp that. What does that mean? Because it's such a personal thing. So I understand that you really like to work with children. And can you tell me a little bit more about why you feel that that you want to work with children and help get them connected to this divine energy?
Oh, that's a wonderful question. Thank you, Tammy. Because I taught school for a very long time, I was dealing with children or teaching children from 5-year-olds to 12. And I worked several years with the gifted and talented children as well in grades 4, 5, and 6, and wonderful experiences. I just feel that, as a teacher, that I loved my job. I thought it was just the biggest gift that was ever given to me to have had the experiences that I've had as a teacher. They were very varied, and I felt I had lots of successes there, so I felt really good about it. So I really look back on my past thinking, I wish I had more knowledge, the knowledge and the understanding and the gift that I have uncovered now. I mean, I did some little things myself that I know helped, but to me, the Trivedi effect, if I could have had transmitted this energy to the children, because they're young, they're innocent, they're so open to this energy, and and I have seen and experienced what it's like for a child who's had a lot of the Trivedi effect energy blessings given to them, and how it changes them so exponentially, like their ability to focus and their calmness and their awareness and their mindfulness, which is what we really try our hardest to teach children. And of course, some of these disabilities like that come up with ADD and ADHD, and that they do start in very young children. And so to me, I felt that would be my, before I even ever thought of being able to do this, I thought, wow, would it ever be great to have the money to give to the masters, to invite more children into this program, because it just does amazing things for children. And as I said, they're so innocent, they're so open, they don't carry all the belief systems and so on with them that we do, and it just changes their life so exponentially. And we've experienced some of the children of the people that are in the program, and the changes in them it's just amazing.
Wow, that's really phenomenal. So then you work with, of course, children, adults, and pets, and then you also do some other work with agriculture and things like that. I understand that a lot of the scientific research that Mr. Trivedi has done was done with mangoes and with cashews and different things like that. And then, of course, the science that you've done, you've worked with different nutraceuticals like vitamin D and things like that. And that's what your validation has all been in the scientific research. Is that accurate?
Yes, yes, it is. The vitamin. I did the first experiment with our colleagues, and that was a lot on the cell proliferation and the cell biology, and it was an amazing experience because it was the first time we'd ever had an opportunity to do something like that. And I mean, we just thank Mr. Trivedi so much. This in any other situation for a lay person like ourselves, it would be absolutely impossible to have been able to partake in these experiments. And so that was the first one. And the second one I did was on skin and skin care. And, that was on the proliferation of the skin cells and wound healing and so on. It was a very interesting experiment. And the next one I did was on the vitamin D3, and its ability to the bioavailability in the cells, which of course is so important for that vitamin D is the energy in every cell of our body. It's such an important part of the of our biology and our functioning. And they are finding that 70% of the world is short on vitamin D3, and so this experiment showed that we are able to raise the bioavailability in vitamin D3 in human cells. So that was a very interesting experiment. And then the last one that we just did is more on the body. It's on cognitions of the body and nutraceuticals and it's in raising the bioavailability for the heart and the lung and the liver and the kidney and the cognitions in the brain.
Wow. So you've done quite a bit of scientific research related to this energy transmission and the Trivedi effect. And I also see that you've got some interesting blog posts on your website also. So Shirley, if somebody wants to find out more about working with you and getting an energy transmission, how can they do that?
Okay, they can search my website. It's Shirley at SHIRLEY@SHIRLEYHOLMLUND.com or SHIRLEYHOLMLUND.com, I guess would be the best. And that I have also got a phone number and email address, and you can get a hold of me that way. And I love to speak to people concerning before I actually work with them. I like to get to know them a bit, and I like to speak to them, and I would love to hear from you.
Oh, okay, great. Yes, your website, Shirley HOLMLUND, and that's HOLMLUND.com. There's all kinds of really good information about the science, about the programs, testimonials. Of course, there's frequently asked questions. And then, of course, the media. Shirley, you've caught the attention of the media also, I see, with some different information related to the science about the vitamin D experiments, the anti-aging experiments, and about the biofield energy treated nutraceuticals for reducing inflammation and autoimmune disorders. So there's a lot of really good information on your website at SHIRLEYHOLMLUND.com. Before I let you go, Shirley, is there anything else that you'd like to add about the Trivedi effect that people might need to know or would like to know?
Well, I love everyone to visit their website as well, the TrivediEffect.com. There is so much science, so much information. It is just, I I try to go on at least once in a while and just keep on reading, because there's more new information coming every day. And this is cutting edge work. I want everyone to know. Sometimes it's hard to even understand because of we have our belief systems, but it's changed my life so amazingly, and I would just love to have it change anyone else's life who is interested in moving in this direction.
Well, great. So again, Shirley, thank you so much for being on the show today. And everyone, again, it's SHIRLEYHOLMLUND.com. You can check it out. You can read all about the science. You can contact Shirley and good stuff. There's a different blog posts related to happiness, gratitude, the brain-gut connection. Now that's a very interesting post. So again, everyone, this is Tammy Patzer. Go make it a beautiful day.
You've been listening to today's top health and wellness innovators and thought leaders on Optimal Health Radio. To get more solid health and wellness information, visit OptimalHealthRadio.com.